All right, welcome back everyone. This is Allison Ingraham and I am here at the 2017 MegaCon in Orlando, Florida. And I am hanging with comic book writer Jeff Kaufman. Thank you so much, Jeff, for hanging with us.
Well, it's fun. I get to take a little break. You know, I get to sit down. I don't get to just sign some books. So it's nice to be able to sit for a second. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. So tell us a little bit about your comic books. How about let's start with your most recent.
Well, my most recent book I'm working now is called Scary Fails. It's Tesla and Hyde Scary Fails. It's about Nikola Tesla and Edward Hyde. They're 28 years old, they live in Vegas, and they hunt what I call the lies. Those are the fairy tales we've been told all our lives. The truth is, my books are their souls that escape from hell, and they've been causing havoc. They have great PR. So for example, two of the dwarves are drug dealers in Mexico, Santa runs a sweatshop in Bangladesh, and Edward Hyde hunts those guys. So it's kind of fun.
Great concept. And nobody, I don't think, has ever done anything like this.
No, I don't think they have. I think people, the idea is to take something that people might know about and give a fresh take on it. I happen to be sitting in, my son's autistic, and we were sitting in his My Gym class, and I saw all the fairy tales on the wall, and I was thinking, what if these were all lies? And that's only what a writer does. We go, what if all these people were really bad? And then they became fun to me. So then I started writing, and next thing you know, we're 10 issues in, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, that's awesome. I was just going to ask you, what was your inspiration? So you just told me.
Well, one of the things we do is we do autism awareness. That's my big thing. We don't ask for money, but what we do is we put, you know, basically the logo in every comic book. People wear it. We do 5Ks where it's not about raising money. We don't raise anything, but it's about just reminding them that our kids are out there. So every book I do, like one I did was Angel Falling, where the main character was autistic, except he had physical photo memory. And like a lot of our children have these great memories, but you know, the limitations in other areas. But his was in a way that if he saw something once, he could repeat it, which made him one of the most deadly people on the planet, and people seem to like it.
Oh, beautiful, and a beautiful reason why.
Yeah.
Are there any characters or stories that you're just dying to tell?
I'm actually writing a book now, which means a lot to me, and it hasn't been done before, and it's a very tough topic. It's called 9/11, and it's about a hero and a villain who had a husband and wife were both in the building when they came down, and the hero becomes a villain and the villain becomes a hero. Comic books are a way to tell stories that are very uncomfortable in a way that people could read, and the idea I thought of is we talk about the people we lose, but we don't talk about the people who survive and how they suffer. And in this book, you will see how two characters come to grips with how they deal with their pain of loss. So
that sounds really good. Who or what is your biggest influence in your life or your career?
Wow. Of course, I give credit to my wife. I'd like to thank my wife for being there. No. See, this is the Oscar speech. I don't forget my wife. I'd say the biggest influence in my life is my son Jacob. I watch him, you know, fight through life, being on the spectrum and being able to see, you know, he sees the world so foreign. If somebody like that can make it through his day, then it's kind of hard for me to complain about how bad things get sometimes. So it takes away my excuses. From things I might want to do. Oh, I'm too tired to write this book. Well, you know, I'm sure he's too tired to talk to me on a daily basis. But it's nice when people are out there help you move forward, and you know, I'm grateful for that.
Oh, that's great. Are you working anything new currently?
Well, we have the 9/11 book, and we also have a book I call Liar. And Liar is about a 22-year-old college student who has to tell 50 lies a day to protect his family, because he actually is kind of a spy who works for the Freemasons, and by telling 50 lies a day, he doesn't have to worry about ever being a risk to anybody. So it's kind of funny to watch him tell these bad lies all day long. And I mean, they're the worst lies ever. You know, like they ask him, what were you doing this morning? Oh, shooting rats down by the dump. You know, I get paid $5 a day for that. It's cool. I mean, they're terrible lies, but they're funny.
Are there any restrictions to working on in the comic book world?
Yeah, I think you have to be aware of your audience. I think you always have to be thinking about, there's a potential, like I'm doing 9/11. There are going to be people who are going to be offended by that book just because I'm writing it. I have to be very cognizant of when I write these characters that I stay true, that I don't say anything that I don't mean.
Right.
So later on, they'll say, well, why did you say that or why did you do that? Because I believe that's really how the character felt. So I think as long as you're honest, you could do it, but also be aware that, you know, try to help more people than you hurt.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that should be something we do every day anyway.
I agree. Do you frequent a lot of cons?
Yeah, I do MegaCon, which is a great convention, about 89,000. And then I do San Diego, which is the original Comic-Con in San Diego in July. Then I do Dragon Con, which is a fantastic convention in Atlanta, which is a lot of fun, in September. And then I do New York Comic-Con, which is almost as big as San Diego, except you got to be in New York, which is also fun too. And they're great people in New York. And most of these conventions have fantastic people who love your work and, you know, pretty good.
And where can people find you?
Well, they could go to bigcitycomics.com. They can contact their local comic book store. Or, you know, I find out that most people like to meet you.
Yeah.
So I probably sell more comics at conventions than I do across the world through the stores, which I actually prefer, because I think if people get to know you, they can understand what you're writing about better. So it's kind of cool. But you can go to bigcitycomics.com on our Facebook page, and it always lets them know what's going on.
Or find you at one of the Comic-Con conventions.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
And I'll always talk to you. Don't worry about it. That might be good or bad. I can't make any promises.
Do you have like a Facebook where somebody can follow you?
You can follow us at bigcitycomics.com. That's at facebook.com. We use our own name. That's the best way. I will answer any question. I answer messages. I probably answer about 20 or 30 a day easy. I like to keep up with people. I think it's important. And I'll help you out if you want to get into it. I'll talk to you about it. I'll try to give you the right direction. So. I can't hear you.
Out of the 12 issues that you have, which was your favorite?
Wow. There are a lot of books I love. Angel Falling was the most important to me because, like I said, it was about my son, and people have asked me for years to do a book about autism. I didn't want to do it because I didn't want you to feel bad for the character. So I created a character named Connor Jacobs, and my son's Jacob Connor, that you don't feel bad for. You're going, wow, that's really cool. And one of the cool things I was able to do was I was actually able to put him in the book with the actual character that I am. And he'll never understand that I did this, but it was a really cool thing to be able to do. So.
Well, guys, it's been so much fun hanging with Jeff today. Don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment, and let us know what you think of today's show and our guest. You can also check our guest link below. Remember to subscribe, log in, and stay tuned to see who we're hanging with next. Thank you so much.
Good talking with you, Allison.
That was so